Hello, hello. Clock is ticking. Looks like everything's working. Yes, maybe. Okay. Mike Mason's the first one today. Door prize. Yeah. Okay, so the first hour, I'm going to be looking at the chat and trying to answer questions, comments, and complaints, or just chatting. I can enter the chat as well. And the next hour, I'm going to be doing 45 minutes of Flintknapping. And then the last 15 minutes, I try to wrap up. Mike Tufts is here. Tommy Taylor, Alan Cole. Yes, yes. Lance from Outcast Metal is here. Outcast Metal Detecting. What's up? Tommy Taylor. Jeremy. Hey, hey, everybody. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, 2-hour live stream. The first hour is nothing but chit chat. So you can go somewhere else, come back in an hour if you're here on time, right? If you end up coming in after my initial announcements and you don't know what's happening because there's no Flintknapping, oh well. Yeah, that's what you get for being late. Yeah. Mike Tufts asks, is anyone else's YouTube comments going to weird places and not the video you're watching or commenting under? I haven't noticed that. No, not me. Bill Taylor, hello, hello. Yeah, I haven't noticed anything weird. I did notice, or I've found that one of my latest videos looks weird. There's something wrong with it, so I made it private. So, and I tried to re-upload it, but I think I deleted that video from my video library already. So I was not able to re-upload it. I might have it somewhere, but I doubt it. You know, I tried to clean out the memory and the storage space everywhere, so I probably do not have it anywhere. Oh, and the memes, it reminds me. Anyone wants to copy the memes, they're not copyrighted or anything. You can just cut and paste if you want to use the memes I've been posting. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I might start making my own memes and put a little logo on it or something, but I doubt it. If I do the artwork, maybe. But I'm just using AI for the artwork right now. So if anyone has copyright claims, it's the AI, YouTube's AI. Hey, Marty, Buckskin NYB is here. Hello, hello. Ross Wellman is here, lurking on a golf course. Oh, there you go. That's a good place to be lurking from. I see here. Patrick, I commented under your last Dasai video. The comment showed up under my boxing video from Red Eye. That's so weird, yeah. Interesting. No, I have never heard of that before. I've seen this pixelation stuff would just happen like this in the past 2 seconds. And one of my videos was like that almost all the way through. If you view it on the computer, it looks fine on the phone, I think. Well, from the parts that I reviewed, it looked fine on the phone. It might not all be fine. Some of it might be nasty. But yeah, I gotta review my videos more carefully. Yep. Mike Mason, I made a comment on that last no talk that went to Jay's post. Well, there you go. It is a problem. One person is a coincidence. 2 people, it's a problem. Yeah. Mike says I had one for Jesse that went to Carly Rabbit. Wow. So I'm trying to think of what's the connection. Just everyone subscribe to each other, right? So YouTube is mixing up who subscribed to who and who's commenting on whose videos. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Yeah, especially if it's an inside joke. Yeah. If you got an inside joke going and the wrong person gets the inside joke thing. Okay, I restarted the video. I restarted the live stream. Let's see what happens. It usually takes a little while for the comments to show up again. He's back. Yeah, I'm back. I had to restart it. Hey. So I'm not going to nap until the top of the next hour, until 7 Eastern. I'll be just chatting and trying to answer questions and stuff. Okay, so maybe hopefully this time around, with now that I've restarted, we're going to be okay. Yeah. What am I going to nap today? I got something ready. Well, I got something in mind. It's going to be this. It looks like hornstone, but it's probably Fort Payne chert or something similar. It says on it, it's good stuff chert. Yeah, that's what it is. It's good stuff chert. Let's see. Buckskin Marty says, I went to Medora yesterday and looked for some rainy buttes and struck out. No success. That's not good. Jim Cooper says, I have a movie suggestion for you, Patrick. You should watch Quigley Down Under. Yeah, I watched some of that movie and I didn't like it. Yeah. I think it has Tom Selleck's in that movie. Let's see. Let me look it up. I don't know. I can't remember. I think Tom Selleck is in that movie. In case you're new, there's an auction going on. My auction on my channel. You just bid in the comments section, and then I announce winners at 9 p.m. Eastern time or 8 Central time. Yeah, that's the movie. Yeah, I've been watching old westerns like Fistful of Dollars and the sequel to it, which is another. Let's see, what's the sequel to Fistful of Dollars? Let me see. What's the sequel to the movie Fistful of Dollars? For a few dollars more. I watched those two movies this week. I like watching the old westerns and old World War II movies and some of the new World War II movie stuff. Let's see. Lithic Man, hey, how's it going? It's going okay. It's going all right. They call me Trinity. Yeah, part 2 is Trinity and still my name. Yeah, I do like those. Funny. They're funny. Yeah. They're good. I like the Trinity movies. They're in that same category where they dub in the speech. It looks really, really cheaply made, but they're still funny. They're still good. Jim Cooper, Buckskin, I sent you an email looking for more info about what kind of flakes you like so I can get them together for you. Ralph Snyder, Patrick, that looks like some of the chert I picked up on the landscape beds. Yeah, I've seen some of that too. I've seen some of this in landscapes at truck stops. Because, I travel sometimes. I travel once a year. I tried to travel once a year, right? And I see this kind of stuff in landscapes at some truck stops where I like to stop. I'm not going to tell you where, because if I do, it'll be gone. Doing any napping today? Yeah, I'm doing napping the second hour. From now on, I'll be doing napping the second hour. The first hour is just chat. It's called a Bantz stream. The first hour of the 2-hour live stream is a Bantz stream, Bantz, which means we just talk. Yeah, And everyone who wants to see napping right away, hopefully will leave. And then we can have some peace and quiet. Yeah. I'll nap on the second hour for 45 minutes, and then I'll wrap it up in the last 15 minutes. And then I'll wait another 5 minutes after supposedly the close of the live stream to watch several people show up. It's amazing that, several people will show up after the live stream's supposed to be over. Red-Eyed Patriot asks me, Patrick, you remember that one blue stuff you sent me? I asked for that misery. Oh, yeah. You asked for some blue Kentucky shirt. Yeah. I gave you some, and it was not easy to nap. No. And the guys that I got it from kind of went, because I paid for it. Yeah. I suppose they can't even give that stuff away, and here I am. I'm paying for it. And I'm thinking, there's something odd about this, but it looks good. Yeah. But I could tell. I tried some of it. I mean, I've napped a lot worse. Yeah. It was just tough. That's all. It will cooperate if you just hit it hard enough. Like most shirts. Mike says, I found 2 more brown 1-gallon glass jugs today. Awesome. Michael says, it was absolutely the hardest stuff I've ever napped, but it looked like butter. Yeah, it looks like butter, and it makes you feel happy until you start working it. Jeremy says, I have some blue Kentucky shirt. I've been practicing with it. Yeah, it comes in various varieties, I think, just like most other shirts. So if you've got some good stuff, I think that's rare. Let's see. Lithic Man asks me, do you have a particular favorite point style to make? Well, yeah, the leaf shape blade. Anything leaf shaped, which means 2 points. Any point with 2 points, with no notches, no serrations. That's my favorite. And luckily, there is those in the archaeological record, especially in Europe. So yeah, I'm all set. I know I have a Edwards point in my logo for Jack Crafty. I'm looking at an Edwards point. Edwards used to be my favorite point until I got burnt out on making those. Can you get burnout? Can you get nappers burnout? Oh, yes. I mean, I have. Maybe not everybody. Hey, Sal's in the house. Hello. Marty says, I'm patiently waiting for the obsidian from you. The tracking says today at 9 o'clock. I will fill it with KRF and send it back. Awesome. So at 9 o'clock. Why 9 o'clock? That seems really late. Yeah. My post office usually doesn't do anything past 5 around here. Who are they sending it through? It's priority box from the post office. You guys work late out there. All right, let me check the auction real quick here. I'm going to put a like on all the bids that I see. That's the standard procedure. I have to put a like on everything so everyone knows what I see. And if you don't get a like on your comment or your bid, that means I can't see it. Give me some time, though, because I don't always check this every single minute. Sometimes I go and do stuff for 30 or 40 minutes, and I'm not checking the phone. I might have the phone with me, but I'm not checking it. Okay, so I think I have the likes on all of it, on all the bids. I think I've seen all the bids. So if you have a bid in there or a comment that does not have a like, try something else, like try bidding from your computer or someone else's phone or something. If that doesn't work, you can send me an email to jackcrafty2@gmail.com. Although that's not very reliable because sometimes people misspell it or I don't check my email. Let's see. Let's see. What do we got here? Okay, this is a new one. A brand new email. Okay, someone's going to send me a challenge rock. So I got to mark that is not read yet. Okay. Let's delete that. Spam, that's spam. All right, so good. We don't have much spam today. Yeah, we got that taken care of too. Yeah. And if you want to send me stuff, you can send me stuff. But if I have to do anything, just a fair warning, it takes me forever to do stuff. Okay, so don't send me stuff if you cannot wait forever for it to get done. I've got a list that is increasingly getting bigger and bigger instead of smaller and smaller. How it happens, I don't know. I can't say no, I suppose. But I've been saying no to everything. So yeah, if you want me to make something, I can't do it. I've got a huge list. And plus, I got a list of stuff for the nap on videos. And I start stacking up stuff I need to lap on videos until my shop gets totally cluttered, and then I have to clear it out. And then I can't nap it all at one time. And I got to do other stuff. So I got to bring it out little by little. And sometimes I go, I don't feel like napping at all this week. And it doesn't get done. Sometimes I nap a lot. And then I get burnt out. It's a strange game, yeah. Lithic Man says, very nice. I like making dovetails and basil notched points. I use an elk tine point puncher. I see. Alan says, I'm distracted rolling cigars, so I'm going to be slacking on the chat. Don't worry. Just keep them cigars going. Ralph says, Mike, I need to look for bleached bottle bottoms in the dump on my aunt's farm. You need to. Jim Cooper says, I burnt out on flakes and small arrowheads a long time ago where the big blades tire you out, Patrick. The little stuff burns me out because I get ultra finicky about the flaking and it's tiring. Yeah. I can pump out the small flake points. I can just generate bunches of those in a relatively short amount of time. So each one will not burn me out. If I do like 8 of them in one day, yeah, that might burn me out, but I never do that. I used to try to do that. How many points can I make in one day? I think I got up to 12 different points, all different types. It goes a little bit faster if they're all the same type, but I haven't tried that. I think the most that I've done of the same type of point is like 5. Anyway, that does burn me out, but the little ones, no. The bigger ones, because I have to spend so much time in intense focus on so many flakes. It's like a large point is like 3 small ones in the amount of time it takes me. So trying to do 3, I can just imagine trying to do 3 small points in a row with no breaks. That's what it's like for me to do a larger point. And that does burn me out. And I've burnt out on big blades, not only because of the time involved, but also because of the materials required and the specs that the customers were asking me for. Can you make it of this certain length? It doesn't matter what it is, what the length is exactly, as long as it's not smaller than such and such. Anything over such and such, anything. But it can't be smaller than such and such. And guess what? 99% of my attempts and material is smaller than that. Yeah. So fulfilling those orders is just luck. So that burns you out also. if you depend a lot on luck. Sal says, hit the like button. Where's Keith? Yeah, Keith and his marble jokes. Where is it? Jim says, size, type, challenge, easy, thick, thin, mix. Patrick, give us your take, platform as opposed to a striking area. Oh, okay. My take on that is the platform is only on the flake. When you remove a flake, that's where you see the platform. Before you remove a flake, you have a striking area. Okay? I like to produce what they used to call, or what many people still call, a continuous platform. That means you can hit almost anywhere on that striking area. So instead of saying platform or a continuous platform, I just say striking area for everything. Isolated, there's two types of striking areas, isolated and non-isolated. And then within the isolated, there's two types, intentional and unintentional. Okay, you can see sometimes there's an isolated striking area, but it may be incidental or not intentional. It's just a natural place. Incidental from the removal of a previous flake, for example. Like when you do zigzag, you have a incidental, isolated type platform in some cases. Sometimes they're not isolated, but you can also intentionally isolate. Yeah. But platforms for me these days are only on the flake itself, and it's used for analyzing how the flake was produced. And the science, so-called, of analyzing how flakes are produced is a pseudoscience. So we're just guessing. There's really no real way to know for sure. There's really no real way to know for sure how the flake was produced. We can just come up with different possibilities depending on what we've done with experimental archaeology, using the tools that they may have used. We don't even know the exact tools that they used. We have samples on some sites that preserve the antler and hammerstones. We have a lot of hammerstones, but some of the hammerstones degrade over time because they're made of limestone or something like that, some soft material. Not all stones last forever. Some degrade, like limestones and chalk hammerstones, or what they call soft hammerstone. So yeah, it's hard to analyze, for one, and for two, you're probably going to get it wrong anyway. So it is kind of like a pseudoscience, although you can scientifically approach it as long as you're very careful with the data, which unfortunately I don't see a lot of care with the data. There's a lot of incomplete stuff. Hey, Killer Cork is here. Yeah, and if anyone wants to use the memes on the YouTube channel, you can download the pictures, or I don't know. Are you able to download pictures or those images from the memes? I haven't even tried to figure that out. I'm going to be posting like 4 memes every day. It's a meme dose. Yeah. I can come up with those pretty fast. Now that AI can generate images, I just ask it to do a bunch of different images, and then I caption these images. Patrick, Tufts likes my cigars, so are you going to need to share? I hope my turn is coming up soon on your whiteboard. Yeah. Oh, I've got stuff for you lined up, Alan. Yeah. I got to make... you're on the list. On the whiteboard, I do have a whiteboard, but there's only three things on there that have been waiting forever. And every day I'm reminded them that they have been waiting forever. And you're not one of those. No, Alan, you're not on that whiteboard list. If you're on the whiteboard list, you've been waiting forever. And I'm talking more than a year, sometimes more than 2 years. But those are hard ones. Those are difficult. So they understand, right? So hopefully maybe they're just being nice. But yeah, sometimes I'm waiting for rock to come in. I buy rocks from time to time when I just can't. I can't come up with any other alternative. I don't want to be asking every week for. Can you give me some? Blah 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 blah. Someone wants a Flint Ridge arrowhead. Someone wants a black cherry arrowhead. Someone wants a Brazilian agate necklace type thingy. It doesn't matter what it is, just for a necklace. I don't want to be doing that every week. Yeah. AJ Williams is here. Hey, Pat. Is it still live? Just sat down. If so, I got a couple questions. Yeah, ask questions, make comments, or spew the complaints. Yeah. Let's see. Mike Mason says, so all that gibberish I said before about using a bevel as a platform was my dumb, complicated way of saying continuous platform? Yeah, there you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mexican green obsidian. I saw that. Let's see. Hello, hello, says Jim Main. Jim Main's in the house. Mike Tuff says, it seriously was the best cigar I've ever smoked. I was even inhaling it. Yeah, Alan's cigars are awesome. Yeah. I hurt myself on one of them. I said, I got to back off. These are too good. Yeah. Way too good. And yeah, I owe you. I owe you, Alan. Jim Cooper says 100 tiny flakes, and so it gets to me mentally. After 100 or so tiny flakes, yeah, I can see how that can burn you out for sure. Jim Cooper says, I can do the large percussion way faster and easier than the finishing flakes on a small point. I think it has to do with the perception of progress for my ADHD. One large flake removal, more stone. Removes more stone than 100 tiny flakes, and so it gets to me mentally. Okay. I get it now. Tommy Taylor says, as soon as it cools off a bit, I will be slacking, but listening. Have to finish staining my deck. Yeah, go ahead. Don't let this interrupt the staining of the deck. Ralph says, Patrick, or anyone here of an emerald green obsidian? Yeah, I just saw it on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, or someone posted it. Lithic Man says, would you be interested in doing a point trade? No, I mean, I am, but I can't right now. I've got too many. Yeah, you're going to have to wait a year. If you want to do a point trade with me, you're going to have to wait at least a year. Mike Mason says, he owes you, Alan. It's going to Hearst Donut. Hertz Donut, yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's see, Patrick, they're getting even better if you can imagine. Really? Jesse is going to get a couple too. Hey, Alan, awesome. Yeah, Jim Cooper says he wants some. Yeah, there you go. Let's see here. Sal says, I used to get Mexican green, but it wasn't obsidian back in the day. Mm-hmm. I know what you did there. Mm-hmm. Mike Tuff says, well, Patrick, there goes our cigars. Yeah. Yep. Too many people get interested in them. Oh, well. 6:34 Eastern time. That's the time it is right now. Let me check the auction real quick. I have an auction going on. I'll hit the like on every comment, which are the bids. And if you don't see a like on your comment or your bid, that means I can't see it. Easy peasy. Right? A lot of people don't participate in the auction because there's too much chaos. I try to make it easy. Yeah. I could post a lot more items. There was a time where I said, I want to post a lot more items. Yeah. And I got a lot of items ready. And I go, wait a second. Trying to do this every week is not going to work out. Besides, what am I going to do? I got to prioritize. I've got to start prioritizing my back orders instead of prioritizing the auction. So I had to cut back. So I'm only going to post like 5 items per auction now. I used to try to get up to 15 if I could. But then, that's how I got a big backlog of projects that I hadn't finished. I was putting a priority on the auction. Yeah. Lithic Man asks me, I was wondering if you would ever try wooden billets. I've been using a hickory billet on northeastern Washington meta quartzites. But the only thing that makes them flake. Well, you obviously haven't tried a steel hammer. But yeah, it does work. It makes them flake. I'll show you what I've got for wood. This one is Texas ebony. It's a wood billet. I've used it in the past. I started out as a napper using only natural materials. I started as a natural materials napper 14 years ago because I was like everyone else when they start. I only want to use the correct stuff. Don't give me any of that copper or metal. No. So I got tools. Out the yin yang. I got wooden billets. I got horn billets. I've got antler billets. I've got horn pressure flakers. I've got tusk billets. I have boar's tusk billets. Where are they? Maybe not in this one. I got buffalo horn pressure flakers. I've got stone pressure flakers. I've got sheep's horn indirect percussion tools. Or one tool that I got plenty of horn to make others. I got cow bone tools. What else do I got? I'm going to show off. This is cow bone. It's a cow bone pressure flaker, but I don't like using them like this because it gets sore after a while. I like using the pistol grip pressure flakers now. Pistol grip? Yeah, you cut the antler like this and you can grab it like a pistol grip, and then nap with it like that. So you don't have to be grabbing a little skinny piece, right? I've got a composite indirect percussion stick where I used to have this wrapped, but not, I guess I had artificial sinew on there and I didn't like it. Anyway, this is a piece of antler inside of antler. I put this behind my knee and I hit it, but see, this is replaceable. So if it gets worn out and nasty, I can replace it. And I only leave it that much sticking out because I can use this kind of like a notched flaker where it goes in and it's always the same depth. This is good for spalling and not for spalling, for cleaning up spalls when it doesn't matter how far the depth is on the sides. On a side to remove a flake. It's always going to be the same with this type of setup. It doesn't work very well because you need different approaches for each different surface area, but it quickly allows you to just knock off bunches of flakes. These kind of tools get worn out quickly, but since I can replace this, take it out and put another one in there, works out okay. What else do I got? This is just one of my natural tool boxes. Okay. Axis deer is the best antler. Somebody asked me, what's the best antler? And I want you to be honest and don't lie because it's got to work. All right. Axis deer. I'm not lying. Axis deer. That's the pith right there. That's the only weak spot. It's got a little vein. Everything else is solid. And you can cut it into strips to make pressure flakers. You can use it like this as a billet. You can use it as a mallet. It makes an excellent mallet to hit other antler. You can even You can hit wood as a indirect percussion stick if you want to. I don't recommend it, but with antler. You can hit this with antler and it'll work okay. But don't do it the other way around where you have an indirect percussion tool and then hit it with wood. It's not going to work that great. Why does it? I don't know. It just does. Okay, and this is also a pressure flaker, but it's flat. It's like some of the artifacts are flat like this, and you find them in the archaeological record. And no, they're not tongue depressors. I don't think. I think they're pressure flakers. And I use both ends. And this is a cow bone, but you can use whatever. All right, so that's that, right? I'm glad you asked that question because I have my stuff available. I have another box over there with more stuff, but I'm not going to get it out. Why? Because I already blabbed enough. Let's see. It's hot today. 90 degrees, says Fertile Joe. Bushy, yeah. Well, it's not that hot here. Luckily, I don't think it got that hot. No, it got up to 85. That's it. And is it raining? It's supposed to rain here. It's not raining though. Yeah, Bushy's in the house. Yeah, I'm an abo napper, says Lithic Man. Yes, yes. I could tell. Yeah. I make fun of you guys sometimes, so be warned. Just a fair warning. I make fun of the antler people. Now, the antler people is a subgroup of the Aboriginal tool or natural tool guys. The antler people is a subgroup, and they are cultish. Okay, those are the ones I make fun of, the cultish types. You're probably fine. There's another guy that is a good friend of mine. His name is Ken, who has a YouTube channel, Paleo Ken. He won't touch anything metal. And we nap together. Whenever I go to Texas, when I go to the nap-ins there, we'll nap together. So I have nothing against the so-called antler people, except for that one subgroup. Yeah, I like to make fun of those guys. Anyway, I'll do some memes on those guys. How's that? Where are we? AJ Williams says, also, how do you haft and wrap a base notched Hernando? Is the shaft thinner than the notches and then wrapped? Usually the shaft is the same width as the stem. Yeah, and if you have to taper the shaft, taper the shaft. Okay? Usually the shaft, right where you insert the projectile point, is the same diameter as the stem. What if there's no stem? Then the entire base is the stem. The entire width of the base is the stem. Now, if that's too thick, then yeah, they probably stuck it on with just some glue and there's no stem, so to speak. Okay. But if it's narrow enough, it's like if it's under 3/4 of an inch, this is my measurement, my rule, 3/4 of an inch or smaller, you can use a shaft that is of that diameter, right? It's going to be really thick. Yes, I know. But sometimes when you making that lateral dart, you put the thick end forward. So it's really easy to get a 3/4 inch thick end up forward. Okay. And sometimes you can do that and not have to use fletching if you put the weight forward. Now, if you have a parallel shafted dart, at lateral dart, yeah, you can put fletching on it for sure. If you do it the other way, where the thick part is where the fletching is, you're going to get a little bit of an imbalance, but it'll still fly with fletching. The best at lateral darts, I think, are barrel shaped, which is thickest in the middle and thinnest on the ends, like a javelin. Like in the Olympics, the javelins, they're thick in the middle and tapered to both ends. I think at lateral darts made that way work best as well. Okay. But you can try different things. Most of the time, what happens is you use the thick end to mount the point on that ladle dart. Now, what I do is I always foreshaft. I always put foreshafts on everything. So yeah, I'll use the thick end up front, but I'll put a foreshaft on it that's tapered, so it gets thicker near the forward part of the dart. If you include the foreshaft, okay. So uh, that's how I do my arrows and my ladle darts. I always put a foreshafts because in my opinion and what I've seen as far as the data goes, almost everything, almost all the projectile points were mounted to foreshafted projectiles here in North America and probably South America. Yeah. All right. Where am I? Let's see. Australia has arrived. Where's TJ? Let's see here. Jim Cooper says, Patrick, did you see Alan tell you could give me his email address? Just now I did not, but I can give it to you right now. Alan tell you could give me his email. Okay. I will give Jim Alan's address. All right. I'm going to make sure I got that right. Okay, that's easy. I already know Alan's email address. So let's just compose. Um, Okay, I can't do it that way though. Why can't I do it that way? Oh, all right. So what am I going to do? I gotta have to copy paste. Okay, hold on a second. Always complicates it. I don't know why. I can't just type in an email address in the body of an email and have it come up if I know the first few characters. I don't know the whole thing by heart, just the first few characters, but it won't come up. I've got to actually go into one of his emails and copy paste. And it still doesn't work. Hold on a second. No, it still doesn't do it. Okay, let me think here. There it is. I'm hitting the wrong button. Okay. Finally got it copied. Now I got to look for the drafts of the first email I was working on. Paste. Yes. Send. Yeah. Okay. How did I ever do it on a full-time job? I had workarounds. I had charts. I had folders of stuff, reminders and tutorials, and I had to get it organized. It takes me 3 months to get organized in an office setting, and then I'm good. I haven't really organized my stuff here, Flintknapping, in an office setting because it's just a bummer. I'll do it when I need to. Brennan says, "What's up?" TJ's New Life says, "Hey, good day." Buckskin NYB says, "I watched one of your Rainy Buttes videos today. I found it interesting the way you spalled it and biface it into categories for certain size arrowheads. Very good information on that video. Thank you, thank you." Scott Lauer's here. Hey. We got the internationals in the house. We got Australia. We got UK. Who else we got? Yeah, you're bragging. It's mid 70s in the UK. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. Jim says, thanks, Patrick. Also, in case you missed it, I'm going to dig out my extra grinding wheel chucks for your abraders tonight. So I'll get that out to you in the next day or so. Grinding wheel chucks. For my abraders. So there's grinding wheel chucks for the abraders. I'll see. I'm not understanding quite what that means, but yeah, I'll see when it arrives. Lance says, I've been using 1.5-inch diameter fiberglass billets lately. Works surprisingly well, almost like moose antler. Yeah, no, I haven't used fiberglass for a billet. Sounds interesting. But, that thick diameter, do you get those off of eBay? Because it sounds expensive. Yeah, it sounds very expensive. But I don't know. I don't know much about these kinds of things. Fiberglass, I hardly ever work with fiberglass. This is more natural tools. Okay. When I first started my behind the knee indirect percussion stuff, I used antler tines, but then they would wear out, so I'd put a stick in there. That's what that is, in case you're wondering. I know you weren't wondering. There's a lot of these type of hammerstones in Texas Archaeological Record, so I picked this up out of a landscape somewhere. It's like a purple granite. I don't really prefer this type of hammerstone, but it does work. It just, see how it breaks. These pieces come off like that. It looks almost like it flakes, but it doesn't. These are present also on the real artifacts. I just don't like the way when that happens. So I'll use a quartzite like this. That doesn't happen. These little flakes don't come off the hammerstones like that on a quartzite hammerstone. And I used to have various sizes until, a lot of times I'm hitting these too hard on the chert or whatever, and I'll split it in half or I'll take a big chunk off. But I prefer this quartzite rather than granite like this or whatever this is. This might be a basalt or something. It looks more like a basalt. Purple. It looks volcanic, just rolled around in the stream or something. But yeah, I've got different stones. This is one of my latest billets, antler billets. Yeah, I got tons of antler billets. This was one of my first percussion tools, indirect percussion, horizontal punch. And it wore down a lot. This is elk antler. But yeah, you can see it's got a lot of pith. The solid part is on the outside. So what I normally do when this happens, right, it wears out, I'll cut it on a bandsaw and split it. And then just make pressure flakers out of it. Or pressure flaker inserts to insert the tip into a composite tool. This will be the tip material to insert into a composite tool handle. So I start with an antler tine like this for my indirect percussion sticks. And they eventually wear down. This is an elk antler? I don't know. It might be a whitetail. I think it's a whitetail. Big one. Right. I also have pistol grip pressure flakers, and I put the tips in there so that I can replace the tip. Yeah, they don't have these in the archaeological record, I don't think. Not that I know of. Just something I came up with because of the napper's cramp. I get napper's cramp. Okay. I'll start napping in 5 minutes. Lithic Man says sandstone hammerstones are the best. Yeah, if you're not napping really hard stuff, in my opinion. Yeah, I know that's what you like. That's fine, perfectly good. But I usually end up napping really hard stuff. If I nap this with sandstone, that sandstone is not going to last 5 minutes because I use the mass of the workpiece against itself, so I'm striking harder and faster than most nappers. I'm assuming, right? After watching other nappers, they go, "Why? I don't understand that you're hitting it that hard." That's what they're thinking. They're looking at me and going, I could tell they're not understanding that I'm hitting it that hard. Why do I have to hit it that hard? Because I use the mass of the workpiece against itself. What does that mean? You'll have to find out later. eBay for the fiberglass is cheaper than moose billets. Yeah, almost anything is cheaper than moose billets. The one that Danny used to be on the chat, N Doghouse, the letter N and then Doghouse. He used to be in the chat. He sells moose billets for a good price. At least he did for a while. I don't know if he still has his connection to moose billet supplier or moose antler supplier. We'll see. But Danny's got good prices on the antler billets. Jim says, I break up carborundum grinding wheels as my abraders like you were doing, usually into quarters. You said yours were wearing out, and I told you, yeah. I understand that part. I just don't understand the chucks. The chucks part. Fertile Joe says, I have a 1-inch fiberglass rod with 3/8-inch copper rod. Works great when you hit the copper, not the fiberglass. Yeah. That works. Jim Cooper says, I agree under your working super tough material or spalling and hitting high above the edge. The sandstone generally won't hold up to that. Yeah. Fertile Joe or Bushy says, I used to do some work for a camp up here, and in their camp on an old Native American site on the point of the lake here, they have the nicest hammerstone you ever seen holding the door open. That's a long explanation for a hammerstone doorstop. That's cool. Marty says, I use small granite rocks that I find when I'm walking the lake for abrading stones. They work well and are free. Yeah, they work. For me, that's the hardest thing for me to do is find a good abrading stone in nature because none of them work good for me. They get all gummed up or they get too smooth too fast. I have found some rocks here in Vermont that actually are pretty good, but I think it's like a type of granite that's deteriorating or getting soft. So it doesn't gum up. It continuously sheds as I'm abrading. So it doesn't get smooth or gum up, so to speak. And so they work well, but they wear out fast too. Sandstones I use also for abrading, but they seem to be too delicate. The sand in them, it's not bound strong enough. Not bound together or not cemented together strong enough. Let's see. Bushy says you can bid now on Patrick's box of tools, and you will get a free foam pillow. No, wait, you get 2 free pillows. No, you cannot bid on that set of tools that I just showed you. Don't do that because people will say, hey, wait a minute. Someone in the chat said I could buy that. I want to buy it because I don't know what Axis deer antler is. I don't know what this Texas ebony wood is. I don't know what any of that stuff is. And I've been napping for 20 years. I want it. Can't have it. Can't have it. No. Jim says, what would you call the broken up or quartered pieces of grinding wheel? Chunk is just seemed like, okay. I read chuck, Chuck. I didn't read chunk, but I would just, what I call those pieces of grinding wheels is pieces of grinding wheels. Lithic Man says, have you ever heard of oolite? Now, is that spelled right? I'm having a hard time knowing what is spelled correctly and what isn't. Any good uses of elk antler, says Mike Mason? Are you kidding me? Must be kidding. Let's see. I'm looking back in the chat. If there's any questions, if I missed a question, you got to let me know, because I'm very good at missing questions, even though I'm looking specifically for them. Yeah. I've told you before, right? I can look directly at something and I not see it. I don't see any questions. It's not as bad as it used to be. Like 10 years ago, I could look directly at, when I'm driving, I could look at my destination and not see it and go right past it. And my ex-wife would say, what are you doing? What? It's right there. That was it? Yeah, that was it. We just went right by it. Oh, okay. You saw it, right? Yeah, actually, I did see it. Yeah. Why didn't you stop? And there you go. That was my life after starting to get early onset dementia. Yeah. It wasn't any good. I'm not that bad anymore. I can actually drive and get to where I'm going easily. Yeah. And I don't miss things. I don't miss my exits or my turns, or I don't look directly at something and not see it. Not anymore. How did I fix it? Someone tell them. I stopped eating sugar, for one. Someone has a Ferno Joe or Bushy, you got a Flickr page? Now I got to get Flickr? I don't want that. Jim says, yeah, but Chunk uses fewer characters in a chat box with a limit on the said characters. Yeah, but Chunk can be confused with the word Chuck. Yeah. And you can abbreviate piece as PC. Right? Right. Jim says, I've got some very well cemented sandstones that would probably work well for you, Patrick. I'll throw in a couple. All right, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, I'm going to start napping. Yep, and see, it's already 7:03. I got distracted. I'm 3 minutes late. Some guys over there, hey, he said he's going to start napping at the top of the hour, and look, it's late. He's not trustworthy. Unsubscribe, unsubscribe. 3 times I unsubscribe. I'll subscribe just to unsubscribe again. Yeah. I bet you there's people like that out there. I bet you. I wouldn't be surprised that they will subscribe just so they can unsubscribe again. Yeah. Okay. What am I going to do? Well, I need gloves first, right? I'm so glad that they've got these rubber ones now. So glad. They finally got their act together with gloves these days. Yeah, rubberized gloves. They're so much better than what I have to use. I used to use garden gloves, and I wear out the fingertips really fast. And then I just started wrapping duct tape around my fingers and stuff. That didn't work all that well, but it worked kind of. But now we got the high-tech gloves. All right, so I just got a new set of boppers from Mike Tufts. Yeah. This one looks like brass, but it's not brass. It's just China copper. And this is regular copper. Okay? All right. Yes? Yes.
Wait a second. What's China copper?
Somebody tell them. Okay. All right. Do I get burnt out on telling people stuff or answering? I get burnt out on answering some questions, not all, but some, yeah. All right. There we go. What am I going to do? I just going to knock off the cortex and start peeling it off. What I'm going to do is I'm maximizing this for the biface, a potential biface, 1 in here. If I can get some spalls off of this, I can make arrowheads from. That's a bonus, right? Now, I can intentionally try to get spalls off of this for points, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to make a bunch of what I call crud flakes. I just made some crud flakes. What are crud flakes? Flakes you cannot use these for anything. They're just crud. And what you end up having is a bunch of crud and 1 biface, if that's what you're going for. Not always. Sometimes you get lucky and get a good flake off. But usually when you just go for 1 biface or 1 point, you get 1 point plus a bunch of crud. Now, if you want to make a bunch of arrowhead spalls, instead of making 1 biface, you can come up with many spalls and make smaller points. There are different ways to approach it. Sometimes you can get both, the smaller spalls and the biface. That's what everyone wants to do, but it's extremely difficult to do that. Do I do that sometimes? Yeah, I try to do that sometimes by taking off big flakes in the initial stages. But it doesn't always work, especially if there's defects on the cortex. It causes flakes to break up. If you get a Mike Tufts bopper, though, it helps a lot. Yeah. So I can make an arrowhead out of this. As an example, I took off a good flake. Maybe I can take off a better one here in a second. Let's see. No, I tried, but it broke in the middle. See, I tried to get a big flake, but I just got 2 smaller ones. And one of these is a crud flake because it's got cortex all the way through. That's crud. But this one might be usable. It's just not very big. How big is it? Let's see. Compared to a tape measure, not very big. Yeah. All right, so here we go. I'm supposed to be napping the whole time and not blabbing. All right. Not supposed to be making me blab. Let's see, I can get some of these, and these are good for arrowheads. But it's an advanced technique. It takes time to get used to doing that. And you got to change your mentality into, practicing to remove good-sized flakes and then still preserving a potential biface within the material. It's a mindset. And it doesn't always work because some of these are too thin. I tried to get another one off of that, but it's too thin for a reasonable size arrowhead, so that's kind of cruddy. I can't do much with that. Anyways, I'll try again. This is where I got to make sure I don't remove too much of this because this is where the biface is. This is a lot of cruddy cortex and stuff, so I got to remove a lot of that. But I'm going to flatten this first. But this is where I want the biface to be, just on this side. I'm going to be favoring this one side. I'll be removing a lot off of this side and favoring the preservation of this side. So I can't remove too much at this stage off of this side. But I do want to flatten it out and get it nice and smooth so I don't have to do it later. Trying to do it at the end stages, try to remove these large flakes from the workpiece at the ending stages. It's very difficult without breaking it. I mean, it's easy if you want to break it. I can remove a big flake from a biface like this, but it also breaks it. Yeah. What good is that? It's not any good. That's the point. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if I can remove. No, it's too big. Let's see if I can remove the cortex here. I got to focus so I can do the hocus pocus. It's going to look magical. It's going to be. How did you do that? I don't know how I do it. I've been trying to explain it for years. I don't know how I do it. Somebody tell him. Yeah. How can you know how to do it? How can you do it without knowing how to do it? I don't know. It's one of those weird things about the human brain. The human brain can figure out how to do it without you knowing how it's done. Yeah. How does that happen? I don't know how that happens. How do I do flakes like this? I don't know. These are just two incidental blades. They're incidental, but they happen to work out. Yeah. Luckily, they didn't break. How did I do that so they wouldn't break? They didn't break because of luck. And you cannot control luck. Okay? So don't ask me how to control things that require luck, because you can't. It just happened. Yeah. But I can pretend that I controlled it. Yeah. And you'll never know. Dang it. What happened here? I was just innocently trying to knock off a nasty spot. And instead of knocking off the nasty spot only, I got a bonus of 2 spalls. Yay. Bonus. That's not a bonus. That's erroneous. Whatever that means. Yeah, that was a mistake. And I was trying to do the hocus pocus, and it didn't work. It was an existing crack. I'm just going to blame it on an existing crack. Yeah. That's the easiest thing to blame it on. It's a good quality stuff otherwise. Too much. It's not good to use the billet all the way down into the thinning stages. I should switch over to indirect percussion here. But the billet is working well, so. Oh, you know what I do is I ignore the chat during the napping so I can focus. But I'm only going to do this for 45 minutes and then get back to the chat. So, but save your questions if you have a question. And yeah, it's hard to put in a long question into the chat. But try it anyway. Try to figure out how many characters. Maybe someone can figure that out. How many characters can you put in the chat maximum? And then you just type it on your computer first, and then you copy paste. That way you can work with the number of characters. If you have, the word processor that tells you the number of characters that you currently have. That's what I would do. But when I was on Sal's live stream, I just typed in nonsense. No questions. I just goofed. Yeah. It was fun. I just goofed around on Sal's live stream. So I got that so far. That's the first stage. I consider it the first stage. Because to thin it, I'm going to go to indirect percussion. Second stage is the thinning. First is the preliminary biphasing, and then I do the preliminary thinning. And then I do the regularizing. And then I do the secondary thinning. The secondary thinning is when it starts to get sweaty. It starts to stress me out. That's the sweat stage. It always happens with everything. Every reduction has a sweat stage. This naps really nicely. Yes, it does. Look at that. It does. It leaves a nice cooperative flake scar. The ending of the flake is not full of waves. It does not step fracture. It feathers out. So it's high grade. Even though it's kind of tough, it's still a high grade material in my book. If it has those characteristics, the flakes do not break up. That long flake did not break. The termination is not all wavy or steppy. And it's consistent. I didn't mention that one, but consistent means it doesn't have any concrete or doesn't look like there's hard areas or soft areas or differences in color, which often indicate differences in texture and nappability. It looks consistent. That's important later on. But yeah, I can produce long flakes relatively easily. That's a sign of a high-grade material. Sweet. And I think AJ sent me this batch, and he labeled it good stuff. And this is good stuff. Unfortunately, I broke it. But I'm going to blame it on a natural crack. Yeah. Nothing I can do about it. It's not my fault. Yeah. Oh yeah, and if you guys want me to make fun of a certain thing in the memes, let me know. Yeah. What memes? I don't see no memes. There's a community tab now. You can hit community. You go to my channel, and I think you can hit the community, visit community or something community. It's a button. You hit it, and you can see our posts. See, I post stuff. They're called posts. But subscribers can post now as well. But you have to be a subscriber. Upload your arrowhead pictures. Whatever. I mean, YouTube will censor if you upload something risque. Okay? I'm not saying you're going to. But if you end up doing something that YouTube doesn't like, I think they'll prevent you from doing it. But if you got stuff related to Flintknapping or a meme or something, go for it. You're now able to be part of the community. Yeah. I enabled it. I know I'm going to regret it, but I enabled the community. How am I going to regret it? I always find a way to regret it. Yeah, always. Whenever I have an idea, I always find a way to regret that idea. Yeah. But don't worry about it. Don't worry. You worry too much. I'm just giving you fair warning. Yeah. Who knows? You know, if you start being a little gooberhead or a screwball in the community, that just makes you fair game. Yeah. Then you become fair game. Yeah, you don't want to find out. All right. Well, I'm trying too hard. It's really good material, and I'm trying too hard, and I'm causing a lot of ripples and waves, and I'm hitting inward too much. I'm taking it for granted that it's going to work all the time. It doesn't. I've got to be a little more gentle with it. Unfortunately, it is a little finicky. A little bit. Not much, but just enough to cause screw-ups. That are my fault, yes. It is cooperative up to a point, and I got to find that sweet spot. Yeah. I mean, I got to figure out how not to offend it, so to speak. See, it doesn't like I try to hit perfect platforms. It doesn't like the perfect platform or the perfect striking area. It doesn't like it when I set up a perfect striking area. Why? I don't know. I tried to set up a really nice striking area at the tip, and it didn't like it. So I've got to try something else. I've got to deviate slightly from what I think is the proper striking area. It's one of the hardest things to do. It's one of the reasons why Flintknapping is difficult, because sometimes what you think is correct ends up being something the stone doesn't like. And you're going, is it me or the stone? I don't know. Why does Flintknapping have to be so miserable? I'm going to make a meme that way. I mean, I'll make a meme or 2 or 3 or 10 on the misery of Flintknapping. Yeah. What's he talking about? Memes. Don't worry about it. You worry too much. Yeah. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. No. You're on a need-to-know basis. Yeah. You don't need to know what's going on. Just look for the community tab on my channel and ask somebody what to do. How does this work? Yeah, don't be afraid to ask. It's not like real life. You can ask, and no one can immediately go. They might be able to say something, but they're not going to, humiliate you in public, so to speak. Not in the same way, anyway. Anyways. Oh, yeah, I got a question for Michael, Red-Eyed Patriot. Are you able to moderate all the comments on all the videos, or just the comment section in the live streams? My question to Michael, or Red-Eyed Patriot, since he's a moderator here on the chat in the live stream, are you able to moderate all comments on all videos of mine? That'd be interesting. Because then I can say, you got to watch out for Michael. Mikey's going to come get you.
Who is Mikey? I don't care.
Yeah, well, you'll care, believe me. But I can't say that yet. I got to make sure. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you got a bouncer now? What's going on?
Yeah, I have a bouncer in the comment section here in the live stream. Yeah. He volunteered. It's not my fault. Yeah. Comes in handy. Yeah. I don't have to be on the lookout for these Fruit Loops. Show up once in a while. How's it going? How did it start and how's it going? It started a lot better than this. This is how it's going. I had a lot of potential in the beginning, but I still got, this is the other part. I guess I can make a little arrowhead out of that. Yeah. It makes a good scraper too, because that 90-degree angle is good for scraping. Do I use stone for woodworking? Yes, I do. I just haven't shown it on video because it's something that requires a lot of prep time. I got enough on my plate with just the knapping. I'm trying to get it all done. Yeah. Try to get it all done without burning out. Yeah. So I can go into this gung-ho and just put the nose to the grindstone. But then I get burnt out. So it goes good for a month or two. And then, sorry guys, I gotta stop posting to the channel because I'm sick of it. No, not that. Yeah, it's going to get me depressed too, but I got to do it. I don't want that to happen. Can it happen? Yeah, it's happened before. I've taken an entire year off of this channel. An entire year not posting anything because I was sick of it. Yeah. And mainly because I was sick of not being able to do something in the napping. Like I took a year off to focus on conquering the step fractures because I couldn't stand it anymore. I said, I've got to do something about not producing step fractures with every other flake. I still produce step fractures with lots of my flakes, but I know how to damage control them a lot better after focusing on that for a year. This is a piece of a grinding wheel I had in my stuff. This doesn't work that great. But anyway, I don't want to take a lot of time off from the channel. So I've got to kind of take it easy on certain things. If I can tell it's going to burn me out, I got to cool it and not go so fast. 7:26. So at 7:45, are we still live? At 7:45, I'm going to switch back to looking at the chat. So you can talk amongst each. You can talk amongst yourselves, or just sit back and save up some questions, maybe, or just watch. I suppose. Some people benefit a lot from seeing this view. I am very glad that you do. It never helped me in the beginning, but if it helps you, yeah. Great. Fantastic. Wonderful. Tremendous. Stupendous. Fantabulous. I could do that all day. I'm going to make up words like fantastical. It's not just any stone. It's special, fantastical, yummy stone. What are you talking about, dude? That's one of the memes. Yeah. What is this? I get notices? Someone sending me notices on my phone. Being sneaky. Trying to distract me from the Flintknapping. Because I'm not watching the chat. I don't know if you can hear the little notification bells. I'm using this microphone. I mean, this microphone might not be working anymore because I forgot to charge it up beforehand. So I did charge it before the live stream started, but only like for 30 minutes instead of an hour or two. We'll see. 7:29. Okay, 15 more minutes of napping. Yeah, I should be able to get much further along with this. Yeah. So I'm just thinning. This is I did the preliminary thinning already. Now I'm getting into the secondary thinning. The preliminary is just wiping out tough spots like turtlebacks and things like that. Once I get the turtlebacks off and the big lumps, then I start going for the final thinning and then putting in some nice flakes. Making sure the flakes are nice and cosmetically appealing. Back in the day, they didn't care all that much, in most cases, about the cosmetic appeal of the final flaking. In most cases. Some cases, they were obsessed with a certain flake pattern. Yeah. I'm finding that the Eden points are in that category. They're obsessed with the flake pattern. Otherwise, they would not put in a flake pattern of that type. There's no reason. There's no reason for it. Because it doesn't even make the edge sharp. In fact, there's much better ways to put a sharper edge on a point than what you see on Eden points. Yeah. So it wasn't for sharpening, which is the primary reason for stone projectile point. Sharpness. What's the primary reason for stone projectile points? Sharpness. Otherwise, you could just use bone or wood. Yeah. Or horn or something else. You don't need to use stone for projectile point if you don't need all that sharpness. Why the heck are you going to use a stone projectile point that's not sharp? All that work. That's the mystery of the projectile points, of the Eden projectile points. I think. They're so meticulously well made, and yet you run your finger on the edge and you can tell this is not sharp on casts, plastic casts. It's all bumpy. It feels like it resists. It has friction, right? And it's not even sharp. So it's not for sharpness. The only place on the Eden point that feels sharp is up here near the tip, and that's probably it. They just wanted the tip sharp. The sides don't matter. The sides are just to support the tip. Why don't you just make a little teeny tip then and stick it on a stick? I don't get that either. If all you want is just the tip to be sharp, just put the little tip on the stick. Yeah. Why all the extra rocks? Why all that extra big piece of rock when the only part on it is the tip that's sharp? Just put the little tip on the stick. And that's what happened over time. Okay? It took them thousands of years to figure that out, but they did it eventually. Yeah. But that's not the only reason the tips got smaller. I think there was also other constraints. As the population grew, you need more weapons. So to produce more from the same amount of spalls or nodules, you need to make smaller points. If you need more ammunition, it's got to necessarily get smaller. So as you're fighting more opponents, you need more ammunition. Your points are going to get smaller. Now, why am I mentioning warfare instead of hunting? Because you don't need stone points to hunt. There are many ways to hunt. One of the least productive ways is to spend all that time making stone points. It's not that productive. It's not that efficient either. I think you can make the argument that trapping is a lot more efficient. That's why you can't set traps for deer. You can't set traps for game animals because, within a couple of years, it'll all be gone. Trapping is extremely effective. So in the modern day, you cannot use trapping for game animals because they'll all go bye-bye. Because trapping is that effective. Was it different back in the day? No. Trapping was extremely effective. Always has been, always will be. Better, is it more efficient than hunting? Yeah, especially if you have to get stone, the right kind of tool stone for the kind of points you want to make. Yeah. Are you getting ready to ask me questions on this? No? I don't ask questions on BS, man. It's all BS. What am I going to ask? Why are you spewing such BS? That's my question. That well, ask it in the comments. Okay, I don't care what you ask. Yeah, if you want to ask that question, go ahead. Just make sure Michael doesn't get angry. Yeah. If Mikey doesn't like it, he's not gonna let you comment that nonsense or whatever. It's not nonsense. You can comment whatever you want. Okay. See, this side has nice non-steppiness. That side is almost as good. I've got to figure out how to clean that up. It's already getting thin, so it's difficult to clean up once it starts getting thin. Yeah. And if I have to smooth it out in a way that removes the flat, it removes too much off of one side and it causes a curve, that's not good. Okay. This is not that great of an abrader, so let me get some good abrading going on here. Believe it or not, abrading is a vital aspect of knapping. It is more necessary with some techniques than others. And with metals, it's also more necessary than with natural tool. Metals crush the edge a lot, which means you need to dull the edge enough so it won't crush. Yeah. Come on, it didn't do it. I abraded you a lot and you still don't do it. That's one of the characteristics of stone is that as it gets thinner, that's when you know for sure if it's high grade stuff. Yeah. If it doesn't hold together, and if it doesn't produce the flakes that you want at the thinness that you want, chances are the stone is not high grade enough, and that's an indication that it's not high grade enough for what you want to do. Some people can work miracles with different kinds of stone. That's fine. Yeah, you can get used to certain types of stone. And then it looks like you're working miracles with it. But we're talking about distinguishing high grade from others. Not the entirely different subject of working low grade material. That's a whole different subject. Why do I bring that up? Sometimes that comes up when I start talking about high grade stuff, that you're going to need higher grade stuff for what you want to do. And people go, no, you can make beautiful stuff out of nasty material. What are you talking about? It's a whole different subject. Yeah. Working difficult material is a whole different ballgame than what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what I like. Okay, I think I smoothed that area out with a flake. Yes. I like it. It almost removed all of my problems, but there's still some problems. Yeah. Problems. Flintknapping has problems. Problems. Yeah, problems. They're specific to Flintknapping. Yeah. Did I do it? Oh, I'm going to the islands. I'm creating an island in the middle. It's not supposed to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dang it. And I was abrading enough too. Let's see. if I push off on the step, on the face of the step, yeah, I can get it. I might be able to get it. Where's my heavy duty step remover? There is such a thing as heavy duty step remover. It looks like that. It's got an end on it that's, stop it. It's got an end on it. You'll see later. I don't like trying to show you on the live stream because I can't even see what I'm doing. But it's a chisel tip. I push off on it, on the face of the step fractures and pop off flakes. Where's my pad? There it is. And then it looks a lot neater. Can you see? No? Good. I don't want you to copy all my methods. All my secrets. What am I going to do if you know all my secrets? It looks a little bit better. I picked at it to get rid of some of the island. See, it's got that turn. No, that, see it right there? That point, that spot right there. Yes? The convergence. That's what I should call it, the convergence. All flakes converge on that one point, and sometimes it ends up being an island because it'll step here, step there, step there, step. It'll step in every direction. You'll have an island in the middle. Yeah. I should stop. Yeah, I'm going to stop. If I try to go any further to refine this right now, I'll probably break it. Right? So it can go thinner than this, a lot thinner. But I don't want to do it on the live stream. Yeah. So if you watched my live streams before, you'll know that I usually stop before the ending of the completed point. Like I've got a bunch of stuff here that I've done on live streams. I've done all these on live streams. I just throw them over there. See? No, you don't see. And I'm going to add this one to it. Although I like this material, it has a good feel to it. It is kind of finicky because it will get steppy and crackly as it gets thinner, but it's not too bad. And I think it'll pressure flake well. Yeah. But that's just a guess because I haven't tried pressure flaking it yet. All right, so let's see. What did I miss in the chat? Let's put some of this back. I'm not sure if you learned anything from that episode. I was blabbing the whole time about stuff not related to Flintknapping. Or was I? I don't know. All right, so let's make sure I don't lose. I've been throwing away some of my abraders with the debitage. Can't be doing that. All right. What did I miss? Let's put these down here for now. Yeah, there's one of my abraders. Dang it. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see here. Let's go to the ending of the chat. Okay, we're talking about river otters. Ed Gould says, I'm here, just nothing to add. Ed, come on. Prairie Ghost Ken says, that's beautiful work, Pat. Much respect. Oh, thank you, thank you. It was smaller than it should have been. I do like it, though. I like the feel of it, so I'm probably going to make something out of this one and put it in the auction for the next week. I do like the feel of this stuff. I think it's Fort Payne, but it could be Hornstone, right? or something similar. There's different names for this stuff. It's high grade and it feels really nice. Yeah. I'm putting it in front of my face because then it focuses on this. It thinks it's my face or something. If I put it over here, it doesn't focus on it. Yeah. Okay. And it did get then relatively easy, even with my spastic approach. Okay. I like it. Some of my favorite stuff. Yeah. It's like, it's in the number 2 spot. See, number 2 is high grade raw and heat treats. Number 1 is that black butter obsidian. Number 2 is high grade raw and heat treats. And number 3 is like other obsidians and other, lesser grade raw cherts than the highest grade, mid-grade raw cherts and mid-grade heat treats. Yeah. Let's see. What did I miss? If there's any questions, I'm gonna go back and see if there's questions in here. I'll try to answer them. Okay. Mike, you're running a contest. Awesome. Yeah, run a contest, dude. Do it. Who did I miss? I missed Prairie Dog Ken's entrance. Jeremy, you posted on the community page? Sweet. There you go. We need more community activists. Yeah. I'm not kidding. Yeah. We need more community activists. Yeah. Why does it help? I don't know if it helps. It's just fun. It's just something enjoyable. Ralph says, hey, Mike, what contest? Yeah. You need to repeat it like 8 times before everyone figures it out. Lithic Man says he found basalt by the Columbia River. Nap's all right, but has a ton of holes in it. Sounds like stuff I just got. Yeah. You'll see. I've got some stuff that looks like basalt that's got lots of holes in it. I napped it in an unboxing. Unfortunately, that video is messed up when you look at it on a computer. Now, looking at it on a phone, I've heard that it's not that bad when looking at it from a phone, but we'll see. If I can find out a copy somewhere, I'll repost it. If not, I'll just have to re-nap a lot of that stuff that I napped on video on the unboxing. Let's see. Ken says, I was researching trapping this morning. We can set trap lines here in BC, British Columbia. Allows you to set trap lines. There you go. Very effective technique. That's why it's illegal here in the U.S. to trap game animals because of its success. Hey, Eric's here. Hello, hello. Blanco E25. His name is Eric. He is here. Would you guys recommend Tallahassee? Yeah, there's high-grade Tallahassee. I recommend that. There's lower grade, too. I don't recommend that. Let's see here. I got to find my box of Tallahassee I got from somebody. Did I get it from Jim? I can never remember who I get stuff from. I mean, I can sometimes. I just can't rely on my memory. That's always been that way. Yeah, I never can rely on my memory. One of the weird things is I can be thinking something and I'll say something totally different. And then I'll remember the different thing. And I'll go into my brain and I'll replace what's correct. So I'll say something and I'll go, wait, what did I say? I think I said this. And then it messes with my memory of what it is. And the wrong thing will get stuck. My ex-wife has the same problem. She'll say something wrong, and if she remembers it the wrong way, it stays there forever. that happens to me too sometimes. When you got two ADHD people married, it, people used to say, "Hey, you guys are funny. You guys don't argue in the usual way. You guys are funny." And we're in misery, right? No, it's arguing. No, guy, no, it's hilarious. And to us, it's not hilarious. It's total misery. But it's ADHD arguing. Okay, it's arguing about the condition of why did you do it that? I don't know why I did it that way. It just happened that way, and I was thinking this, and it did, and this happened, and I don't know why I did it. Well, how can you not know? You're the one doing it. Well, you do the same thing. I do not do the same thing. When did I do that? Just like that. I don't remember that. I remember it being like this, and that people would say, "You guys are hilarious," and we're like, "Ugh." Looking back, it's not too bad, but at the time, oh my goodness, I feel sorry for my kids. I got land beavers in my backyard fire pit. What's a land beaver? Frodo Joe says, I used to catch beavers in otter sets. You can trap beavers here. You had to get a trapper's license and stuff. But there are seasons here in Vermont for trapping fur bearers and stuff, so I might do it. Although I don't have time to be processing the hides. That's the thing. So, but I might still do it and then save the hides up. There you go, talking about trapping. So I got 8 minutes left in the chat. Once I exit the live stream, I check the auction. The auction ends at 9 p.m. So I'm going to be checking it for like an hour and making sure I hit everybody's comments with a like. Your comment bids, your bid comments. Hit everything with a like, and then I'll announce the winners at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Hey, okay. All right, I got to read my emails later. Let's go and look at the auction real quick. If you have questions about the auction, ask them now or forever hold your peace. Yeah. For this particular auction, you're running out of time. What is the auction? How do you bid? Your comments are your bids, and your bids are your comments. Hey, we got some bids still coming in. It gets heated in the last 10 minutes. In many cases, last 10 minutes of the auction, everyone starts to get sneaky. Yeah. But we'll see how it goes. It doesn't always get sneaky. Oh, I knew Wesley bid on that box of flakes. I knew he was going to do that. Yeah. Wesley's from Canada. And if you live in a foreign country, I send to foreign countries. I just charge you a little bit extra. A small package, I'll charge $10, and for a large package, I'll charge $20. You're still going to save a lot on the shipping. Yeah, but my shipping is an expense. Is a business expense, so I write it off. So don't worry about that part. I will cover the shipping. Shipping is free for you guys. And lately there's been confusion on tariffs and import duties and customs fees and all kinds of stuff like that. I was amazed that people still don't understand that kind of stuff. You don't understand it until you actually start doing it. Yeah. As an exporter, I'm an exporter. I send to different countries. I pay fees sometimes to get that product into that country. I pay the fee, and I don't charge the customer that fee. I use it as a write-off business expense. But that country charges me. Yeah, and people don't understand that. And I typed it into AI one time. Why don't people understand this? Or do foreign countries charge the importer fees? Yes, but at first it said, well, typically they don't. Typically they don't. Well, it depends on what country, because some countries typically they do all the time, and most countries maybe not. But yeah, even AI was swamped with misinformation about tariffs. Yeah, I was surprised. But some people just don't want to mess with it whatsoever. But I will ship overseas. So just so you know. Let's see. Mac Bales, I have never watched you nap and not learned. Today's no exception. Thanks. That's one of the best comments I could get. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Ralph says, trapping is fun. Patrick, you can look for a fur buyer. Some will buy your furs in the green, whole animals unskinned. Oh yeah, taxidermists will do that. And I was thinking of becoming a taxidermist at one time as a hobby before I started napping. Now napping has taken over everything, but I was thinking of becoming a taxidermist at one time. Yeah. But I'm allergic to fur. That's one of the big obstacles. But I said, I don't care. I can wear the respirator. I can get ventilation and stuff. But yeah, there's some furs that I can tolerate. Deer, any kind of species of deer doesn't bother me too much. But rabbits, my goodness. And I think the raccoons and stuff, I've got a couple of raccoon hides. The otter hide that I have doesn't seem to bother me too much. But the rabbits and the raccoons, what other squirrels, those hides really bother me. And even thinking about it. Anyway. So it's going to be 8 o'clock in 3 minutes. I might go over the time. Let's see. Somebody's asking questions. I'm talking about my own community page, just in case. I enabled the community feature on my channel of Jack Crafty, but not on my other channels. Just the Jack Crafty channel, because that's the one I post to. And that's the one that has all the engagement right now. I could be posting on some of my other channels, but I don't because I don't have time. Right? Seriously, don't have time to do the other channels. But I enabled the community option and feature on the Jack Crafty channel. Yeah, it seems to be working good. I've got posts from people that post their arrowheads, and somebody posted their tools or something, some antler and stuff. It's called posts or community. Yeah, if you look on the channel, go to my channel, I think you can see it's either called posts or community. On the phone, it says community. Like if I go to my channel, let's go to my channel. Yeah, let's go to Jack Crafty channel. Yeah, see, if I go to Jack Crafty's channel, it says visit community. Okay, you see where it says visit community? Dang, this guy's got 29,000 subscribers. What did he do to get so many subscribers? That's a lot of bribes. You can also, on this section here, see how you can move those. It does say posts. And then you can see my daily meme dose. That's my character that I came up with for my daily meme dose. What's my first? Here comes that bipolar percussion lunatic. That's a play on words, right? Because there's such thing as bipolar percussion, but bipolar people are lunatics. All right, so here we go. Then he put me in the kennel for pissing on some stupid rocks. Pathetic. Remember, guys, it's not how you look, it's how you get pulled. What does that mean to get pulled? You know, you've seen those arrowhead searching videos where guys are searching for arrowheads. This is a name for that community. Arrowhead collectors and stuff. They go searching for points, and then they find one sticking out of the ground just a little bit. They don't just go, "Hey, look at that." No, they go, "Oh, tell me it's all there. It's got it. Hopefully it's all there. Let's zoom in on it. Is it all there? I can't see. Let's clear a little bit of the stuff around it first. I hope it's all there. Clear it. I hope it's all there. I'm gonna pull it. Oh, it feels like it's gonna be all there. Hold on. I gotta catch my breath. Okay, and then I'll grab it a little bit. Oh, it's resisting the pull. That means it's bigger than what it looks like. Okay, there we go. Catch my breath. Ready? It won't pull out. I gotta dig more around it. It's like, oh, it's maddening. It's extremely maddening. Okay, but if they can ham it up enough, they can pull it out, and it's an ugly, cruddy little thing. But the act of putting drama into the pull, when you pull it, it's called pulling. It generates a lot of clicks, apparently. They get thousands of clicks, and all you're doing is finding cruddy little points in most cases. Yeah. So that's what that meme means, in case you don't know. I know what that meant, dude. All right. What else? Oh, yeah. Do we steal the bifaces or the women? I'm thinking. Man, that's a tough one. Golly. Dang it. What do we do? All right, so here we go. I see some excellent bids coming in. Yes, yes. Awesome, dudes. You guys are awesome. Yes, yes. And I rarely have any problems with the bidding, but sometimes there's problems. But if there is a problem, I'll try to resolve it. And if there's no other resolution to make you a duplicate point, because you feel like you're cheated out of the point, I'll try to make a duplicate of the point. But that's rare, luckily, because that takes me forever in some cases to make the duplicate. But just so you know, just fair warning. Anything on the side, I have a hard time doing. And that's why I provided auction, because those definitely can be sold. And I can definitely make some stuff for the auction. I just can't prioritize it too much. So there's usually not many available. But that's the best I can do. Ken says, great memes, Pat. Oh, thank you. Let's see here. Okay, it's talking about skinning. It's already past 8. It's okay. I'll stay on a little longer. On the phone, it's called community. On the PC, it's called posts. Okay, but on the phone, it's also called posts. But you can do both. You can visit community. You can also do the posts. Come on, get to my channel. I want my channel. All right, one more time. I don't know if yours is set up that way, but you can visit community. This is my channel, right? And then you can also go here to this line, and it says posts. You can hit either one, visit community or posts. I don't know if your phone has that same setup. It should have that exact same setup. Now on a PC, I think it's just posts, because when I look at my channel on my computer, all I have is posts. It doesn't have that visit community button. Okay. Let's see. What happened to Sal? Something happened to Sal? Did he have a little mishap in the napping? Was Sal in the house? No, Sal was not in the house tonight, right? Okay, so Jim Cooper says that joke rock I sent to Patrick is what surrounds me for upwards of hundreds of miles. Makes for great ground tools if you have the life expectancy of a Galapagos tortoise to grind it. Yeah, I call it railroad rock. Yeah. Yeah. Ken says, my whole family has ADHD, Pat. I get it. Tucking over each other, a million different topics. Yeah. But it's so funny. My ex-wife would lose things. Life is, how should I say this? Different for some people. It's different completely for people who lose things. Okay? Like when you're issued a driver's license, for example, or something like that. You're issued a driver's license and you're supposed to carry it around in case you need an ID for something. If you're a person that loses things, it doesn't do any good to have one of those. No. Now, I made sure I lose things too, right? I can't. I'm a hypocrite if I say that I don't lose things and that you shouldn't lose them. But my ex-wife, I don't want to say too much about what she did to make fun of her, but losing things was something that would drive me totally insane. I've got to vent it, right? She would lose her driver's license. So guess what? I would have to have a little picture of her driver's license, and then she would call me up. Hey, I need my driver's license. Can you send me a picture? Yeah, no problem. That was one of the workarounds. But yeah, if you lose stuff, Social Security cards, driver's license, if you lose mail, if you just something, how can you lose it? I would say, how can you lose it? And especially keys. How do you lose it? You've got 18 keys on this. It's on a lanyard. I had to buy key locators. So you clip on that buzzer thing onto the keychain, and then somewhere in the house where no one touches it, you put the little clicker thing where you click it and you can hear the deep, 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 where the key locator thing is. I had to use that like 3 times a week after I got it. It was a lifesaver. But guess where we'd find these keys? Oh, that was an eye opener as well. But and it helped us in the future to find keys if we didn't. Who moved the clicker for the keys? Oh, I moved it because I was looking for my keys the other day. How did you find where I put it? I don't know. I just found it. The funny thing is, the people who lose things, they can find stuff, but they can't find what they lose. Like my ex-wife would find where I put the clicker because I didn't want anyone to move that clicker so I could find the keys. But she would find that. I don't know how, and then try to locate her keys. Anyway, this one time, what time is it? 8:08. Funny story. This one time she was going on a trip and couldn't find her keys. And then we clicked on the thing. No noise. Went outside, clicked on the thing. No noise. Where the heck are the keys? You just packed your car full of stuff. You came in and out of the house and you went, did some errands, came back. You had the keys. You had to unlock and lock the car too. What happened? I don't know. We clicked and clicked. Maybe the batteries are dead. So we changed the battery. Click and click. Nowhere to be found. Turns out she packed her keys in her suitcase, deep inside the suitcase. I don't know why, but she had it in the middle. We finally found it by opening the car and going, sitting in the car. Wait a second. I hear something. Where is it? We looked around and the keys were deep inside one of her suitcases. If we didn't have that clicker, we would have never found those keys. No. Anyways. Okay, Ralph says I got to catch up on Danny Collins' videos. He's been cranking out a lot lately. Yeah, I saw that too. I'm going to end the live stream here, guys. Jim Cooper says, I just posted some stuff on the community, Patrick. Awesome. Post your stuff on the community, you know, your arrowheads, your attempts at arrowheads, finished projects, anything you want. Your garden, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. Yep, you're showing everyone's learning how to use it. Okay, good. My grandma and I used to take turns locking ourselves out of our vehicles. Yeah, there you go. Well, we had to get workarounds going. We got the workarounds. Eventually, we got the workarounds. So yeah, but the kids still have to get used to they're doing their workarounds. But luckily, they watched us. My mom used to have the same kind of issues, but she would keep it quiet. What's the matter, Mom? Nothing. Nothing's the matter. Okay. But I could tell. Yeah, misery. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you for participating. It's good to see everybody. We have the same very loyal crew every single time. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. What time on Wednesday? Yeah, the next live stream is Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, or 1 to 3 Central, or noon to 2 Mountain, or 11 to 1 Pacific. Wednesday. Skunks, yeah, I got skunks out front. I haven't fed them yet. They eat cat food, right? They love cat food. It's like donuts and coffee, I suppose. They just hang out for the cat food. They all line up. As long as I spread the cat food out, I get 3 or 4 skunks to come out and chow down right next to each other. Like sitting at a diner. Yeah. Yeah, Jumpy's back. Female. She had 6 kits. They call the skunks kits or babies. I don't ever see them anymore. I see 2 babies come around. They're from different litters. And I don't know if one of them is from Jumpy's litter. It might be. And then the one that came around with her mom or his mom by themselves, one adult female and one baby would come around every night together, and then finally the baby stayed. So that one's here all the time now. So I got 4 that are very regular that come around. One is a little baby. It couldn't be more than a couple months. And then there's Jumpy, and then there's Muddy and Mangy Tail. Now, I think Mangy Tail, after looking up some stuff, I think he's a male. I thought he was a female. But looking at size differences, I've been looking at size differences. The males are generally bigger than the females, and Mangy Tail is one of the biggest. I'm thinking he's a male. But Jumpy and Muddy, I think they're females. Well, I know that Jumpy is. And I don't know what the baby is. All right, we'll see you next time, guys. Wednesday is the next live stream. Yeah, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Eastern time, I'm in Vermont. Okay? Buckskin, NYB, or Marty, $1.99. Thank you. And no comment on that one. He did not include a comment. Just $1.99. Gave me $2. Sweet. Cat food fund, right? That's what someone said last time. Definitely. Cat food gets expensive. Yeah. I'm going to film the animals that come around now that I have a new phone. See, this is my brand new phone to replace my old one. I still have to update this one with all the software so that I can use it to film the live streams. I'm still using the old phone to film the live streams. Okay, good night, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.